In recent days, something has been stirring in the Vatican, and it's not just the autumn wind blowing through Rome. Pope Leo, the new pontiff, welcomed with such hope, is starting to unsettle many. His latest moves have sparked much debate, and many have already lost hope. So the inevitable question arises: are we nearing the point of no return? Rome experiences the clear, suspended days of October, when the air is clear and the light seems like a promise. Yet as the city fills with the calm beauty that only Roman autumn can bestow, an increasingly dark murmur rises from beyond the Leonine walls. It is as if, above the dome of St. Peter's, clouds were gathering that herald something more than a storm, the concrete risk of a rift, of a deep tear in the church's robe. In ecclesiastical circles, there is now open talk of tensions unseen since the post-conciliar era. Some prelates remain silent, others whisper that the point of no return has been reached. The word schism is no longer taboo. It circulates like a shadow among those who fear that the latest decisions and declarations have gone beyond what is bearable. Rome, which has always been the mother and center of Catholic unity, today seems to have become the crossroads of a drama that opposes doctrine and new pastoral care, tradition, and modernity. Outside, the sun continues to shine on the domes and squares, but inside the Vatican rooms, the atmosphere is heavy, almost electric. The cardinals study each other in silence. The national curias observe with growing uneasiness. The faithful are divided between those who call for absolute fidelity and those who demand clarity. In this tension, Rome appears suspended between two seasons, the mild and luminous one of its sky and the much more uncertain one of its church. It all began with a seemingly marginal gesture, yet one fraught with consequences. In the Diocese of Chicago, under the leadership of Cardinal Blas Kupich, an award was announced to an American politician who for years has been at the forefront of anti-life policies. A Lifetime Achievement Award that, according to its promoters, was intended to celebrate civic engagement, but which in essence amounted to a public endorsement of positions that openly contradicted the Church's consistent teaching. The news spread overseas and sparked a wave of reactions. At least 10 bishops publicly expressed their opposition, and many others are said to have written to the Episcopal Conference to request intervention. A well-known American blog spoke of an avalanche of episcopal criticism. This wasn't simply a disciplinary disagreement, but something deeper, a cry of alarm at what many pastors perceived as moral and doctrinal confusion. In this already heated atmosphere, all eyes turned to Rome, waiting for a clarifying word. The question was simple and burning. What will the Pope say? Leone's response, delivered off the cuff during an informal meeting, struck like a thunderbolt. It's important to consider the senator's overall achievement over many years of public service, he reportedly said. Words that, to many, sounded like an implicit defense of Kupich's initiative. Since then, the case has no longer remained confined to the pages of American newspapers. It has become an ecclesiastical issue, a question that touches the very heart of the Catholic faith. Can we reconcile the defense of life with support for those who deny it? Or are we perhaps opening the way to a new pastoral approach that justifies everything in the name of dialogue? The Pope, in his speech, continued by stating that those who defend unborn life but approve of the death penalty or remain indifferent to the fate of migrants would not be consistently pro-life. This reasoning draws on the theory of the so-called seamless garment, formulated in the 1980s by Cardinal Joseph Bernardin, according to which all questions of justice, from life to poverty to the death penalty, form a single moral fabric. But that concept, enthusiastically embraced by progressive circles, had already been criticized decades ago by Cardinal Joseph Ratzinger, who pointed out that the taking of an innocent life could not be equated with political decisions affecting public safety. His words then resonate today as a forgotten warning. A few days after the wave of controversy, another episode added unease to unease. At Castel Gandolfo, during a ceremony organized by environmental movements, Pope Leo blessed a block of ice from Greenland, invoking upon it the Lord of Life. "May this water awaken your hearts, wash away our indifference, and renew our hope," he said, placing his hand on the ice to the applause of those present. The gesture, symbolically powerful, however, has provoked contrasting reactions even within the ecclesiastical world. Many saw in that act the confirmation of a path that intertwines ecology and spirituality, continuing in the footsteps of Pope Francis and Laudato Si. Others, however, have seen it as a sign of doctrinal disorientation, a sort of new climate liturgy in which faith seems to bend to the fashions of the world. We speak of the cry of the earth and of the poor, but we remain silent about the cry of those who have no voice, wrote a Spanish Vatican correspondent, evoking a sense of bewilderment that is now pervading many Catholic circles. During his speech, the pontiff spoke of an ecological conversion, a phrase that has raised eyebrows among those who fear that the Church is replacing the salvation of souls with the protection of the planet. "We must listen to the cry of the earth and of the poor," he repeated, quoting verbatim the Brazilian theologian Leonardo Boff, an exponent of liberation theology. For many observers, this quote was no coincidence, a direct reference to that current that Rome had regarded with suspicion for decades and which now seems to be re-emerging into the light of day. To an outside observer, it might seem like a minor detail, but in the Vatican, details don't exist. Every word, every gesture, every symbol has weight. And the chill of that block of ice, blessed under the skies of Castel Gandolfo, seemed to many to be the perfect image of an ecclesial climate that is cooling day by day. After these episodes, the atmosphere in the Church has become almost palpable. That climate of trust and hope that arose after the election of Pope Prevost, when many had believed a return to doctrinal clarity and pastoral firmness was possible, seems to have dissolved today. Pope Leo's words and gestures have rekindled dormant tensions, and in some circles there is open talk of disappointment, in others of bewilderment, in still others of betrayal. Catholic journalist Bruno Moreno, commenting on the latest developments, wrote that after the summer, the idyll cooled, and at a disturbing speed, serious reasons for concern emerged. According to him, it is no longer a question of individual slips or unfortunate expressions, but of an orientation that, taken as a whole, reveals a worrying drift. Many wanted to give Leo the benefit of the doubt with respect and filial affection, he added, but what happened next tips the balance towards anxiety. And so, in this tense scenario, the question insistently returns, Where is the Church going? Can one love the Pope and at the same time ask for clarity, as the saints and doctors of the past did? The answer, perhaps, lies in faithfulness itself, the kind that does not bow to conformism, but continues to look to Rome despite the clouds. What do you think? If you liked the video, comment Amen. God bless you.